Have you ever felt like something is missing in your life, even when everything seems fine on the surface? Have you ever looked around and wondered why nothing truly excites you anymore, why you feel disconnected, why life feels like it's happening to you rather than something you are actively living? You are not alone in this feeling. Carl Jung spent his life studying why people feel lost, empty, or without direction, and his discoveries reveal something that most people never realize. This feeling is not a sign that something is wrong with you. It is a sign that something inside you is calling for change. Jung believed that feeling lost is not a random experience, nor is it something that happens only to those who have made bad choices or failed in life. In fact, some of the most successful people, those who have achieved everything they once thought they wanted, often feel the most lost. They reach the top of their careers, build families, secure financial stability, and yet an emptiness lingers. That is because feeling lost is not about what is happening outside of you, it is about what is happening within you. It is a message from your unconscious mind, a signal that you have drifted too far from who you really are. Jung called this process individuation, the journey of becoming your true self. Most people go through life playing roles, fulfilling expectations, and adapting to what society, family, or circumstances demand from them. As children, we are taught who we are supposed to be. Be responsible. Be kind. Be successful. Fit in. Follow the rules. And while these lessons may help us function in society, they often come at a cost. In order to meet these expectations, we suppress parts of ourselves. We bury our true desires, our creative impulses, our deeper questions about life. We become what we are told to be, not what we were meant to be. And over time, this creates a division within us, a gap between the person we present to the world and the person we truly are inside. This is where the feeling of being lost comes from. It is not because life has no meaning. It is because you have lost touch with your own meaning. Your soul, your unconscious, your deepest self is trying to wake you up, to remind you that you were not meant to live on autopilot, to just go through the motions of life. You were meant to evolve, to grow, to become fully yourself. But until you answer that call, until you begin the journey inward, that lost feeling will remain. It is a sign that your current way of living is not enough anymore. One of the biggest obstacles to this journey is fear. Jung understood that people resist self-discovery because it requires facing the unknown. It requires questioning the identity you have built, the beliefs you have accepted, and the patterns you have followed. And for many, this is terrifying. If you have spent your entire life as the responsible one, who are you without that role? If you have built your identity around pleasing others, what happens when you stop? If you have always believed that your worth comes from success, what do you do when external achievements no longer fulfill you? These are the questions that individuation forces you to confront, and many people would rather stay lost than face them. But Jung believed that facing these questions is the only way to truly find yourself. Feeling lost is not a punishment, it is an invitation. It is life asking you to wake up, to stop living based on who you think you should be, and to start discovering who you actually are. This process is not easy, but it is necessary. The reason so many people feel disconnected from life is that they are disconnected from themselves. They have spent years, even decades, ignoring their inner voice, dismissing their real desires, following a path that was never truly theirs. The longer this goes on, the more numb they become. And when the numbness finally breaks, when they realize they cannot keep living the way they have been, that is when the lost feeling comes rushing in. Jung's answer to this problem was simple, yet profound. Go inward. Look at yourself honestly. Question everything. Explore your past, your dreams, your hidden emotions. Listen to what your unconscious is trying to tell you. This is where true guidance comes from, not from society, not from other people's expectations, but from within. The journey inward is not an easy one, but it is the only way to truly find yourself. Carl Jung believed that when a person feels lost, it is not because life has no meaning. It is because they have lost touch with their own. The problem is that most people try to fix this feeling by looking outside of themselves. They seek new distractions, new relationships, new jobs, new routines, believing that if they just change their external world, the emptiness will go away. But Jung warned that this approach never works. You cannot fill an internal void with external solutions. The real answers lie within. One of the most important ways to begin reconnecting with yourself is to explore your shadow, the hidden part of your psyche that contains everything you have ignored, rejected, or suppressed. Jung believed that much of human suffering comes from the refusal to acknowledge this part of the self. The shadow holds the emotions, desires, and truths that you have pushed away because they did not fit into the image you created for yourself. If you were taught that anger is bad, you may have buried your anger deep inside, only for it to show up in passive-aggressive behaviors, bitterness, or unexplained resentment. If you were taught that you must always be strong, you may have rejected your vulnerability, only to find yourself feeling emotionally distant, unable to truly connect with others. These suppressed aspects of yourself do not disappear. They live in your unconscious, shaping your behavior in ways you do not realize. The more you ignore your shadow, the more it controls you. Jung believed that if a person does not confront their shadow, life will force them to. The feeling of being lost is often the result of the shadow trying to break through, demanding to be acknowledged. This is why, when people finally stop and examine their emotions, they often feel a flood of anger, sadness, or confusion. It is not that these feelings suddenly appeared. They were always there, waiting beneath the surface. But until they are faced, they will continue to manifest in cycles of dissatisfaction, self-sabotage, and repeated mistakes. The way to break free is through deep self-reflection. Jung encouraged people to pay attention to their emotions, to their dreams, to the moments in life when they feel triggered. These are all signs pointing toward the parts of themselves that need attention. If certain situations or people bring out strong reactions in you, ask yourself why. What are they reflecting back to you? What part of yourself are you seeing in them? The people who frustrate us the most often reveal something about ourselves that we have not yet accepted. This is why Jung believed that true self-awareness comes not from avoiding discomfort, but from exploring it. Another reason people feel lost is that they have disconnected from their deeper desires. Many people go through life following a path that was laid out for them, not one they truly chose. They pursue careers that society values, relationships that others approve of, lifestyles that look good on the outside. But over time, they begin to sense that something is missing. They may not even know what it is, only that their life does not feel like their own. This is because they have been living according to an external script, rather than listening to their inner voice. Jung believed that every person has a unique path, a calling that aligns with their true self. But when you suppress your desires, when you ignore your curiosity, when you silence the parts of you that crave something different, you lose connection with that path. Finding your way back requires courage. It requires questioning everything you have accepted as truth and asking yourself what you really want. Not what is expected of you, not what is practical, but what truly brings you to life. What activities make you feel energized? What interests have you ignored? What dreams did you abandon long ago? These questions may not have immediate answers, but the more you ask them, the more your unconscious will begin to reveal them to you. Jung also believed that creativity plays a crucial role in self-discovery. Many people assume that creativity is only for artists, but in reality, it is one of the most powerful tools for connecting with the unconscious. Writing, painting, music, or even free expression through movement can bring hidden emotions and insights to the surface. The unconscious speaks in symbols, in images, in metaphors. This is why Jung encouraged people to explore their dreams, because within them are messages from the deeper self. If you feel lost, try expressing yourself in a way that does not rely on words. Let your unconscious guide you. You may be surprised by what it reveals. Another key to reconnecting with yourself is solitude. In a world full of distractions, people rarely take the time to simply be alone with their thoughts. But Jung believed that solitude was essential for self-discovery. When you are constantly surrounded by noise, other people's opinions, social media, the expectations of society, you lose touch with your own inner voice. Take time to sit in silence. Go for walks without distraction. Spend time in nature. Let your mind wander. The more space you create for stillness, the more your true self will begin to emerge. The feeling of being lost is not a sign of failure. It is not a punishment. It is a call to wake up. It is an invitation to stop living on autopilot, to stop following a path that no longer serves you, and to start exploring who you truly are. Jung believed that every person has the potential for deep transformation, but only if they are willing to face themselves fully. The process is not easy, but it is necessary. And in the end, the reward is greater than anything the external world can offer. The reward is a life that feels truly your own. The process of finding yourself is not about searching for something new. It is about uncovering what has always been there. Carl Jung believed that deep within every individual is a fully formed, authentic self, waiting to emerge. But throughout life, we take on layers of conditioning, expectations, and false identities that obscure this true self. Feeling lost is not a sign that something is missing from you. It is a sign that too much has been added. Too many roles, too many responsibilities, too many beliefs that were never truly yours. The journey back to yourself is not about becoming someone else, but about shedding everything that is not you. One of the final steps in this process is letting go of attachment to the past. Many people remain stuck in cycles of confusion and dissatisfaction because they are still holding on to old identities, old wounds, and old beliefs about themselves. They say, "This is just the way I am," without realizing that this version of themselves was shaped by experiences they never consciously chose. Jung warned that unless we examine our past, we will unconsciously repeat it. The patterns that make you feel lost today may not have started in adulthood. They may have begun in childhood, in the stories you were told about who you should be, in the ways you were taught to suppress your emotions, in the fears you absorbed from those around you. But your past does not define you unless you allow it to. Breaking free from these patterns requires forgiveness, not just of others, but of yourself. Many people carry guilt for the time they have wasted, for the mistakes they have made, for the years spent living a life that did not truly align with them. But Jung believed that every experience, even the painful ones, serves a purpose in individuation. Every wrong turn, every failed attempt, every moment of feeling lost was not a waste. It was part of the journey back to yourself. The key is to stop regretting the past and start learning from it. Instead of asking, "Why did I do that?" ask, "What was that experience trying to teach me?" Another crucial part of this process is learning to trust yourself again. Many people feel lost because they have spent their entire lives looking outside themselves for answers. They have followed advice, sought approval, and shaped their decisions around what others think is best. But Jung believed that no one knows your path better than you. The unconscious mind is always speaking. It whispers through intuition, through sudden insights, through feelings of excitement or resistance. The problem is that most people have spent so long ignoring these signals that they no longer recognize them. The more you practice listening to yourself, truly listening, the more you will realize that you have always known what you need. One way to strengthen this connection is to follow what Jung called synchronicities, meaningful coincidences that seem to point you in a certain direction. Have you ever had a moment where a book, a conversation, or an unexpected event felt like a sign? Jung believed that these were not just random occurrences but reflections of a deeper order in the universe. The more you pay attention to these synchronicities, the more you will see that life is constantly guiding you toward your true self. The question is whether you are willing to notice and follow where they lead. Another key to finding clarity is embracing change rather than fearing it. Many people remain lost because they are afraid to let go of what is familiar. Even when they know deep down that they need a new path, they hesitate. What if I make the wrong choice? What if it doesn't work out? What if I end up even more lost? But Jung taught that growth requires stepping into the unknown. You cannot discover a new version of yourself while clinging to the old one. You must be willing to release what no longer serves you, even before you know exactly what will take its place. This is not easy, but it is necessary. At the heart of all this is one simple truth. You are not lost, you are transforming. Feeling lost is not the end of your journey, it is the beginning of something greater. It is a sign that you are ready to wake up, to let go of the illusions that have kept you stuck, and to step into the life you were meant to live. The confusion, the discomfort, the uncertainty, all of it is part of the process. The more you resist it, the more painful it becomes. But the moment you surrender to it, the moment you trust that this feeling is guiding you toward something deeper, everything begins to change. Jung believed that every individual has a destiny, a purpose that is unique to them. But that destiny cannot be found by following the path of others. It can only be discovered by going inward, by listening to the unconscious, by embracing the parts of yourself you have ignored for too long. The real reason you feel lost is because you are being called to something greater. And the only way to answer that call is to trust yourself enough to follow it. So if you've made it this far, I hope this message stays with you. If you found this helpful, don't forget to like and subscribe for more insights on Jungian psychology, self-discovery, and personal transformation. Stay curious, stay open, and remember, feeling lost is not the end of your journey. It is the beginning of something extraordinary. Take care and keep growing.